So you probably already know about the toxic chemicals that are going into the air and into the water supply in East Palestine, Ohio. But you won't hear anything coming out of the White House about this train derailment or the two other ones that have recently occurred. But you will hear Mayor Pete talk about how racist he is and that the projects being done on highways in minority neighborhoods, all the jobs are being filled by white people that don't represent the neighborhood. This is the administration of Joe Biden that cares not about anything but race and gender issues. So why are we not hearing from Sleepy Joe Biden about this dangerous train derailment? Why are we not hearing the damage it's causing to the surrounding areas? Not only did they initiate a controlled burn of these toxic chemicals, they also supposedly made a man-made trench to let these chemicals go through it with buoys to keep it from infecting, if you will, the land. But what they're not telling us is that these chemicals are so toxic, they know they're going to seep into the ground. And once they do, they know that they are not going to be able to remove them. There are 20 cars that derailed with every single one of them carrying hazardous materials. One of those chemicals is called vinyl chloride, and that is one of the most dangerous ones. And they made, again, their own trench, and then they initiated the controlled burn. But what they're not going to tell you is that the groundwater system is going to be infected with these chemicals. How, mind you, will they remove these chemicals from the drinking water system? Or are they just going to say, everything's fine, don't worry about it, we did the best we could, we made our own trenches, and look, we burned off all the chemicals? What kind of toxins are going in the air? And yes, the government claims that the EPA went there and did all their air quality samples and everything is just fine. So are we to believe what Joe Biden administration officials have to say? Where's Mayor Pete through all of this? You know Mayor Pete, the transportation secretary who pretended to ride his bike to work and who put on a plastic breast to breastfeed his baby, him and his husband, just to teach the baby how to do that. What's he doing? I'll tell you what he's doing. He's continuing on his tour with this infrastructure bullshit and still talking about how racist the construction industry is. He already told us that they had built bridges low enough so buses carrying minorities couldn't make it to the white side of a city or town to go to a beach. I've done an episode on that. This man is in charge of transportation. Well, he's continuing now to push his racist views while all these train derailments are going on, while these toxic chemicals are being released into the air and into the groundwater. This is what Mayor Pete is saying about the infrastructure bill.
To work with your contractors, to work with your community colleges on building a workforce that reflects the community. We have heard way too many stories from generations past of infrastructure where you got a neighborhood, often a neighborhood of color, that finally sees the project come to them, but everyone in the hard hats on that project looking like, doing the good paying jobs, don't look like they came from anywhere near the neighborhood.
Right.
You can build community wealth that will help close wealth gaps in this country if we can tear down those barriers. But that happens at the delivery level.
And that's Joe Biden's transportation secretary talking about the projects are finally coming to their neighborhood. But everybody wearing the hard hats doesn't match the demographic of that neighborhood. That's what these people are concerned about. They're concerned about the color of your skin, what gender you call yourself, and that's basically it. They're not concerned, especially Mayor Pete. He's not concerned about this toxic chemical spill. Not one bit. He didn't mention it. He hasn't had any press conferences about it, nor has Joe Biden. But they will tell us, though, that the unidentified flying objects that they've been shooting down are not extraterrestrials, that we do not have to worry about aliens infiltrating the United States because they're positive that there's no aliens in the sky. Then what are they shooting down? Are they still surveillance balloons from China like the first one? We will never hear the truth. Not about that, and certainly not about this dangerous chemical spill. This administration goes out of its way to cover up every crisis before it. They do not care about the well-being of the American people. All they care about is pushing their woke agenda on race and gender equality. They don't care that people may be drinking water that's contaminated. They don't care that people are going to be breathing in air that's contaminated with toxic chemicals that the authorities released into the air themselves. No, they don't care about that. But if you're a person of color and there's a construction project in your neighborhood, Pete Buttigieg is telling you, you're not going to get the job because everybody in the hard hats has a different skin color than you. How are these people even allowed to serve? Pete Buttigieg came from a small town as a mayor to all of a sudden he's qualified to be the head of the Department of Transportation, Air, Land, and Sea. This guy, again, the guy who breastfeeds his baby with a plastic breast. This is the man that Joe Biden put in charge of our safety when we travel. He put him in charge of our safety when they're going to do road construction and bridge construction. We have to rest assured that Mayor Pete has our safety in mind and we have nothing to worry about. Well, quite frankly, I feel bad for the people of East Palestine, Ohio, because they have no idea what's going to happen, and they will never get the truth out of their locals or the federal government. Because again, the EPA will tell you that they did air quality tests and everything is okay. And the man-made trenches we put in place to capture all the chemicals, that's all going to make it go away. It's not going to invade the groundwater. It's not going to infect it and make it toxic. And no, the trenches we make, we're positive that no dangerous chemical will seep into the ground and then later on seep in to the groundwater. That's how stupid these people think the American people are. So I'm going to keep following this because there have been 2 other train derailments, one in Texas and the other one I think it was in South Carolina, but I'm not positive. I don't believe there was any chemicals released with these 2 other train derailments, but no one's talking about it. No one is talking about it. All they're telling us is white people are taking jobs from minorities and there's no aliens flying over the United States, but we're not going to tell you exactly what was shot down, but you just need to believe what we say. We know what we're doing. We're the government. So trust us and you can sleep good at night. I'm not going to sleep good at night listening to anything that comes out of the mouths of any Biden official, and nor should you. And that's it. And that's my opinion. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't liked this video, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell. Share this video with someone. I'd appreciate that. I hope you're all healthy and safe, and I'll see you soon. Have a great night.